when I set out to pick a musical to do, I wanted to continue on the tradition that Moises Kaufman set us on last year when we did Into the Woods in a very innovative and unusual and totally new way. So it felt like a new musical, though it had been done lots of times before. It was very daunting to pick Cabaret, such an iconic musical, but something that I've loved since I was a kid. This show speaks to me in political ways and personal ways and musical ways that it's always kind of stuck with me as an option. When we announced last season, we said we were either doing Cabaret or Streetcar Named Desire, two giant shows with bullseyes on their back. Like, what are you going to do with that? And the donor of ours, named Addie Ward, who's just a wonderful person and a major supporter, grabbed my arm and she said, "Eric, will you walk me to the stage?" And there was a bar on stage, so I thought she just wanted a drink. And I'll get you a drink. And we walked right past the bar, and she held my arm. She got very teary, and she looked out at the theater and said, I've wanted my entire life to see this. And then I realized she meant what it is like to see the theater from the actor's point of view. Have what you guys see all the time. And I just thought that was so moving and interesting. And that night or the next day, I had an idea about what would happen if thinking about Cabaret, what would happen if we resituated the audience relationship to the telling. And that led us to a set design. And a lot of my plays start when I get the idea for what the design might be or how it's unusual or particularly challenging. And I came up with a scheme that would be to kind of reorient the audience and make Cabaret about the audience huddled around it, more than the kind of presentational sense of we are the audience over here and you are the actors up there. So we have an opportunity in Cabaret to relive these lives, to give them life and to experience the world of this play the way these characters would have experienced it, with the uncertainties in place, right? And I think the other productions of Cabaret have done a great job of kind of restoring the theatricality of Cabaret. They've done a great job of really different styles and how to do the show, from the Fosse approach to the Mendes approach. That's all been done, and that's not something we're going to touch necessarily. But what hasn't been done is a relived Cabaret that is intimate, that is about the community literally sitting in a circle around in incredibly close proximity to a story that will move fast and be about the story itself.
I guess one of the things we talked about was kind of the sexuality of the cabaret and the sex and money dynamic. So that gets played into a little bit with some of the cabaret girls and the cabaret boys and just their, I don't know if we're going to do any burlesque type stuff, some striptease stuff, we'll see. Eric had the idea of having Charlie Chaplin be the reference for the MC. So he'll kind of raise his head in different areas of the production.
Oh.
We start out with them in their sailor onesies, which is kind of militaristic, but also a little frivolous, kind of thumbing the nose at the military a little bit, but also has sort of a sweet but sad feel to it.
Out here in August or something. You got to come out here. We got to stand on the stage to talk about this. So I fly out here, and we're standing on the stage. He says, "Here's my idea. Want to divide the stage in half with a curtain. Want to bring audience in through the back door, half of the part of the audience. The rest of them over here. The curtain is down in the center, and when we start the show, half of the audience hasn't seen the other half. The curtain goes up, and there they are, facing each other. So they don't really, unless the secret has been given away, they don't know that there's other people on the stage. So what I've done here is I've taken close to 80, 90 seats out of the house, right, which all of them are removable, which wasn't too hard to do. We've opened up the bombs in the front. And then there are seating banks that surround the seats on the stage, and there are 130 audience members sitting in those seats on the stage. There is basically the main playing space, which is about a 28, 30-foot diameter circle that's raised. Part of that circle is a turntable that turns. Then there's an outer ring of cabaret tables and chairs, and those are also audience members. So when we make the cabaret club, the Kit Kat Club, we're going to bring tables and put them on the turntable so that we can spin them around and put them wherever we want to as well.